Hello and welcome to my channel. Facts today. I'm going to run through some facts on Tasmania. Tasmania is the world's 26th largest island. Tasmania has an area of 90,758 kilometres squared, located 240 kilometres off southeast of Australia. There are 334 other islands that lie just off Tasmania, ranging from rocky capes to 3 sizable inhabited islands. Want to visit one? This is a touristy thing, so maybe I will edit some of these sentences. So I'll give you the info. Tasmania has the world's cleanest air. Tasmania has the cleanest air in the world, monitored by Cape Grim Baseline Air Pollution Station. The lack of pollution is due to the position of Tasmania in the Southern Ocean, far from other land masses. The Cape Grim station is located in the path of the Roaring Forties, which are strong westerly winds that carry pollution-free air thousands of kilometres across the Southern Ocean. Yeah. In fact, if you go around the world, I think horizontally you will hit South America or something. It's that much vacant space. Tasmania was first discovered on November 24, 1642 by Abel Tasman. Although Aboriginal people have lived in Tasmania for at least 35,000 years, Abel Tasman, a Dutch explorer, was the first European to discover Tasmania. He named it Anthonage van Diemen's Land, or Anthony van Diemen's Land, after the sponsor of the expedition. Anthony van Diemen, who was also the Governor-General of the Dutch East Indies, currently known as Indonesia. Despite the official name of Van Diemen's Land, usage of the alternate Tasmania gradually grew, and on January 1st, 1856, it was officially renamed Tasmania. It's known to the Aboriginal people as Trowunna, Trowena, or Lowy Trowitter. Okay. Over 20% of Tasmania is Tasmanian Wilderness World Heritage Area. At least 1/5 of Tasmania is World Heritage Area. The area, which covers 1.58 million hectares, includes national parks, marine and forest reserves. This means 20% of the land is World Heritage Area, which extends far south of Tasmania to Cradle Mountain in the northwest, and many of the remote destinations that are untouched and unspoilt and only accessible by foot. Hobart is the second driest capital city in Australia. Hobart is the capital city of Tasmania, located in the south of the island, and while Tasmania is known to be one of the wettest states in Australia, it may surprise some to know that it's actually the second driest capital in Australia, second to Adelaide. Most people think that Tasmania is a wet and damp place, yet in Hobart it's not the case. Hobart receives an average rainfall of 614 millimetres of rain every year, unlike Brisbane, which gets 1,021 millimetres per year. Tasmania has the oldest trees in the world. Huon pine is located in western Tasmania, some of the oldest living things on the earth. The Huon pine tree grows very slowly. A 20-metre tree could be thousands of years old, while the oldest individual tree or stem on the site now maybe 1,000 to 2,000 years old. The organism itself has been living there continuously for 10,500 years. Tasmania has dense rainforests. Tasmania has a lot of thick vegetation. Some of the species found in the rainforest includes eucalypts, which are the tallest trees in the southern hemisphere and the biggest in the world. There are 89 metres tall and 10 metres wide. Other unique species include the myrtle, blackwood, sassafras, leatherwood, celery top pine, Huon pine and king billy pine. The Tasmanian devil is the largest carnivorous marsupial in the world. The Tasmanian devil, this is wrong, is only found in Tasmania, and is the world's largest surviving carnivorous marsupial. Officially listed as an endangered species, new research shows that the Tasmanian devils are developing a resistance to the facial tumour disease that heavily influenced the decline of the species by more than 80% since first found 20 years ago. They've actually got colonies now in Victoria, I believe. Tasmania has over 2,000 kilometres of walking tracks and 18 national parks. With over 2,000 kilometres of walking tracks, you can experience World Heritage, beautiful coastline and amazing scenery of ancient rainforests on a variety of walking tracks that range from 9 hours to 9 days. Whether you explore the south of Tasmania's South Coast Track, the iconic Overland Track, the centre of the state, or visit the lush rainforest region of the Tarkine, or the stunning rugged coastline of the east along Three Capes Walk, there are a number of ways to explore Tasmania by boot. Mount Ossa is the highest mountain in Tasmania. Mount Ossa is located in the heart of Cradle Mountain in Lake St Clair National Park and stands tall at 1,617 metres. Trekkers can summit Mount Ossa while on the Overland Track and be rewarded with 360-degree views of Tasmania's northwest with visibility of nearly 30 kilometres on a clear day. Tasmania has never-ending display of wonderful nature, from beautiful islands to spectacular wilderness and stunning coastlines. Alright, that's one. Let's see if there are some other slightly nuttier ones. There are two theories on why it's called the Apple Isle. The first one is its former status as an important apple exporter. However, some say it's because the island's shaped like an apple. Tasmania isn't as small as you think. In fact, it's about the same size as the Republic of Ireland or Sri Lanka. Speaking on size, Tasmania's coastline measures about 4,500 kilometres. That's longer than the combined coastlines of New South Wales and Victoria. Tasmania is situated closer to the equator than Rome or Chicago. Almost half the state is World Heritage Area, National Park, or marine and forest reserves. It has 69 golf courses, more per capita than any other state in Australia. It also has the oldest golf course in the Southern Hemisphere. Tasmanians travel the shortest distance of any Australian workers between their home and their jobs. After Adelaide, it's the second driest capital. Tasmania used to be attached to Victoria via a land bridge until 10,000 years ago, when the polar caps melted, making the oceans rise. What's left of this land bridge is the Furneaux group of islands, of which Flinders Islands is the largest. It has water so pure that it produces the only bottled rainwater approved by health departments around the world. Supposing Holland is the home of tulips, however, it actually imports tulips from Tasmania. When it comes to rude, baffling and hilarious place names, Tasmania has it all. There's Eggs and Bacon Bay, Trousers Point, Penguin, Milkshake Hills, Stinkhole, Granny's Guts, Awesome Wells, Satan's Lair and Lovely Bottom. It has a lot more fun names than that. You can actually get a tea towel with all the funny town names in Tasmania. It's quite funny to read some of them. I might do that some other factoidy thing. Tasmania is the size of Switzerland. A large proportion of its land is remote and often inaccessible wilderness, so don't underestimate your driving times. The rest is stuffed full of must-see attractions and gorgeous natural scenery. It can snow in Australia, land famous for its sun-drenched beaches. We're not talking a light dusting. In winter months, June to July, heavy snow falls in the mountains and often remains until spring begins in October. First trip was in July from this author, and they were struck by the beauty of the countryside when it was covered in snow and glittering frost. Okay. Tasmanian devils are nocturnal. If you haven't got Lady Luck on your side to spot a wild Tasmanian devil, these animals are nocturnal, notoriously shy, and so to avoid wasted hours, it's best to head to the nearest zoo or sanctuary. Cradle Mountain is 1,545 metres high. It's in Lake St Clair, which is up in the top left corner. And it's named after two most famous residents, the towering snow-sprinkled peak of Cradle Mountain and the twinkling waters of Lake St Clair. Australia's deepest lake is 160 metres. The picturesque park is scattered with further mirror lakes, thick forest and dramatic peaks, and wombats, possums and wallabies all call this place home. It's best to be explored on foot, and there is a 2-hour loop around Dove Lake in the shadow of Cradle Mountain. Port Arthur used to be a prison. Port Arthur is a collection of crumbling old buildings, neatly trimmed lawns and pretty sea views, and makes for a relaxing picnic spot, but underneath the pretty is a picture exterior lies a turbulent history. Port Arthur is a former convict settlement where brutal punishment of prisoners, including solitary confinement and incarceration in complete darkness, drove many to insanity. It's hard to imagine the horrors. You can actually do tours of the prison and you will never hear the same story twice by any of the tour guides. It's quite incredible the amount of stories that come out of this place. Tasmanian tigers are believed to be extinct. Some people will say that they're not, and we have a huge mysterious vacant island that they could be living in. It's a misleadingly named Tasmanian tiger. It's not a tiger at all, but a thylacine, a carnivorous marsupial resembling a stripy dog with a kangaroo-like pouch. They are bizarre looking creatures. Unfortunately, the poor creature became extinct in the early 1930s due to excessive hunting, destruction of its natural habitat, and competition with European introduced wild dogs. The last known captive specimen dying in Hobart Zoo in 1936. There have been since many hundreds of sightings, including some captured on film, although none have ever been verified. And that's round about it. I hope you enjoyed the dot to dot today. It was a beer, so I hope you have enjoyed the Tasmanian facts, and we'll see where we might go next week when I revisit some more frivolous facts, and talk to you then. Bye for now.